You've been to countless speech therapy appointments, you've practiced sounds at home, tried every technique the therapist suggested, and maybe even had tongue and lip tie revisions for your little one. Yet your child is still struggling to communicate, still plateauing and still frustrated. You watch other children their age chattering away while your little one remains silent or difficult to understand or not structuring sentences, and you can't help but wonder, what are we missing? Hear what no one in Australia is telling you. In Australia, 1 in 5 children start school with a speech or language impairment. A New South Wales study found 13% of primary and secondary students have communication disorders. And for children with developmental delays or chronic health issues, feeding disorders can affect up to 80 to 90% of these children. Yet the vast majority of these kids are receiving the same traditional approach that focuses on the output, the speech muscles and the sounds, while completely missing what's happening with the input and coordination in the brain and sensory nervous system. Speech delays and communication challenges are most often or include an input and processing problem, not just an output problem. That's why traditional speech therapy alone may not deliver the breakthrough that you're hoping for your child. Today, we're diving into the 3-step neurological process of speech development. How subluxation, nervous system dysfunction, and vagus nerve interference create the perfect storm for speech delays, and why addressing these root causes can unlock progress that traditional therapy alone cannot achieve. So, let's break down speech development. Speech production is a complex 3-step process. Firstly, the input. Sensory and auditory signals are received by the brain. Then, the integration. The brain processes and integrates this incoming information. And then finally, the output. The brain sends those coordinated signals to the speech muscles. Most people assume speech delays stemmed from the muscle problems in the output stage, but typically the real issues often occur upstream in the brain and the nervous system's input and integration phases. So let's look into what subluxation is and what that means for speech concerns. Subluxation refers to misalignment and neurological interference that disrupts the brain-body communication. This can affect motor planning, muscle tone, and coordination, key elements for speech. Unfortunately, birth interventions like forceps, vacuum extraction, and C-section can injure the upper cervical area and the brainstem, which can impact speech pathways. So, what about the vagus nerve connection? The vagus nerve controls the vocal cords through its recurrent laryngeal branch, and dysfunction leads to problems with vocalization, pitch, volume, and speech clarity. The vagus nerve influences breathing and swallowing, both essential for speech. Dysfunction here can lead to voice issues and keep kids stuck in fight or flight mode, making communication even harder. As neurotonal chiropractors, we start by identifying perfect storm triggers like birth trauma and early stresses. The exciting aspect of this is by using advanced insight neurological scans, we locate and measure dysfunction that others may just simply miss. Speech delays often aren't about the mouth or the tongue, they're about the nervous system's ability to coordinate input, integration, and then output. Neurotonal chiropractic care restores that connection so kids can find their voice, get more out of speech therapy, and then thrive developmentally. If this sounds familiar and you want to learn more about speech delays, insight scans, and addressing the neurological root causes your child's therapy may be missing, then give us a call, comment below, or send us a DM. We're here for you.